2023, the government granted a mining lease to Barari DV Limited, a subsidiary of Atlantic Lithium Limited, for the exploitation of lithium in Ghana. At a short ceremony to mark the signing of the lease, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, described the lease as the best deal for Ghana, insisting that at no point will Ghana export lithium in its raw state. However, the agreement was met with criticism from a section of the public, the latest being the Chief Justice Sophia Kufu and the IEA. But before the Chief Justice and the IEA, had criticized, this move by government, the minority in Parliament, has also kicked against the decision by government to lease our mineral resource to, the said company and all of that, as well as some civil society organizations also expressed dissatisfaction with, the move that was made by government. But before I introduce my guest for tonight's discussion, let's listen to what the minority said on this matter. We'll be right back.
The minority has followed recent discussion on a lithium agreement signed between the Akufo-Addo-led government and Barari DV Ghana Limited, a unit of the Sydney-based company, to enable it commence operation and mining of lithium at a Woya in the central region for 15 years. That any transaction, including but not limited to the application for a license to exploit a natural resource, requires prior parliamentary approval. On this note, I want to make it loud and clear and succinct and explicit that the agreement between the government of Ghana and Barari DV should be laid before Parliament without delay. And let me assure the people of Ghana that the minority would not let you down. We would scrutinize the agreement. We would not allow this agreement to be rushed through. We would seek the guidance, the involvement of civil society. We will speak to important personalities, including former Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Akufu, who has been vocal on this lithium agreement. The new order is lithium. Lithium is more profitable than gold. Lithium is more profitable than diamond. And the world order is moving to this green mineral. And so the minority would insist that Ghana benefits from this resource, and that the terms and agreements, if they are not in the interest of Ghana, the minority would kick against that. But let me re-echo and re-emphasize that we demand that the Akufo-Addo-led government tables or lay this agreement before Parliament without delay. And let me also caution Barari that any attempt to commence mining without parliamentary approval would be illegal. And I also want to caution officials of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, as well as the Minerals Commission, that they have no authorization to allow Barari to commence mining of lithium without parliamentary approval, as well as other necessary approvals such as EPA, license, and the rest. But we insist that this agreement ought to be laid before Parliament without delay. And let me caution that a future NDC government, on assumption of office on the 7th of January 2025, all mining licenses that have not met the necessary parliamentary approval, we will do the proper thing and
not accept it on behalf of the people of Ghana, because it is not in our interest. Whether they will abrogate the agreement or not, whether they will renegotiate it or not, I'm not going there. I'm not their legal advisor. All that IEA is saying is that Parliament must not should not, ought not ratify this agreement that we have in our hands that has been signed. But we will formally also send a copy of our press statement, the one we read last week. We know it's already in the public domain, but we will send copies to the parliamentarians and to the Speaker. There should be a national Ghana's policy on the exploitation. I like the word exploitation because it means you have it and you are now making the most of it. Yes, so the extraction, the processing, the production, the manufacture, everything. There should be a policy that is declared. For example, just now I was looking at some documents that were being shown to me where Nigeria has also come out with a policy that with lithium, I don't know about other resources, but that lithium should not be exported in its raw form. So that's a very brief, I'm sure it's a bigger kind of statement that was made, but that's what was shown to me. And that's what we need to have. And it shouldn't be about lithium. No, it's about all our resources so that any agreement that's going to be signed or ratified henceforth, and that includes this one because it hasn't been ratified yet, yes, must at least have a particular framework which is a far departure from the colonial structure.
So that was the former Chief Justice Sophia Akufo. But apart from her, other people have also criticized, government's move or the decision by government to lease the mineral resource. Now, the Domahini is not left out. He's also spoken against the move. He's pleaded with government to have a relook at their decision. Let's listen to him as well.
Nana Nsoko hene, Nana Junim hene, Nana Wenchi hene, Nana Kwachuma hene, Nana Suma hene, Domaka hon, ye nso. Ani abonofo no, abebeje atum no. Ya ye se free samre ko ye ni brekum. Ye to nkwanta ya de apai. E wo fia nhihye ho. Kosi se bebe fa kwan papa so abeka bibi a kire. Because ani die kwan so se ura kra ba yi a I don't just be maybe. Nankasa platform you cry, you acquire a sabi, or two for Santini. Or Tina Gem say a Santa for Ura. Nkangojan. And also a Samka, or by enemies more domain group. Adia Badia and Chaye. Nti Ayade, Yatriam, Brekum for being a baby, when you need problem. Bessie Brekum Hinan, near Hannibal Nebaba, then the Nakwa Benamaco register. Your best say a falso. A banner sad and non suspended on Sunshine View. Because Baba Casa home near Marcasiano. They were basic argument and an ordinary. Now, media cry, the anti-cry agreement, and members of Bassan, but to talk us on say. Agreement in Casa lithium, one year doma benfiedunu. Lithium and a good year be a behunus area near there. Sani pane ade oma na otimi yede yo nti kase nya lithium kora broni no basane sa agreement na ngu bibi na bedru ba bi ne yalu sukon na yam den se na nanu so ba sori wo se benti ase yankase bentu ade no na mom anya hwe wu nipa no bra betu yamfa wo de tu maye wo ye ne wonche na ye no ba chakra nya ne 50-50 nti ye wura no benhwe ne ye ma ben koye lithium agreement bia Ebasa emfa.
So you've just listened to Nana Domahini and his position on this particular matter. So it looks as if a lot of people, including traditional leaders, are calling on government to take you know, a relook at their decision, or to think twice about you know, the deal and all of that. Now, finally, civil society organizations are also, you know, calling on government to rescind its decision on, you know, the agreement and all of that. And
Ghana, as a lithium-blessed nation, must position itself in a good stead to reap the benefits from these green minerals. We must therefore avert the recurrence of the tragedy that has characterized the mining of gold. We need, as a matter of urgency, to pay attention to the issue of lithium. We find the mining lease agreement between Government of Ghana and Barari DV Ghana Limited unacceptable and not fit for purpose. And we'll tell you why we think this is so. First, we need to focus. Let's look at the issue of royalty rate. The lease agreement stipulates in clause 20 that the company shall pay a royalty, and by company I'm referring to Barari DV Ghana Limited, that the company shall pay a royalty of 10% of total revenue. And although Section 25 of Act 703, and this is the Minerals and Mining Act, as amended, creates room for setting of royalty rates higher than the earlier 5%, it does not set a specific rate, but it does not mention a specific royalty rate. Now, therefore, the 10% rate to be hasty and suspicious grant. I mean, the grant of the lease seems to be hasty and suspicious. And we'll tell you why we think it is hasty and suspicious. Given that green minerals, and especially lithium, will become substitutes for oil in the not distant future, one would expect wider engagements and consultations, at least in the manner of those that characterize the discovery of oil prior to the grant of any mining lease. It is obvious this does not happen. The curious question then is, why the rush? What does it profit Ghana to rush into signing lease agreements only to be hurt in the long run? An important emphasis to the mining lease agreement which was eventually signed. You would realize that both the approval of recommendation letter and the mining lease bear the same date. This is very suspicious because it is impracticable for the processes
right, so that was Atiq Mohammed, and you've listened to the varied, you know, views on this mining lease agreement that government is embarking on and all of that. It looks as if all those views are against government's decision. But I've been joined in the studio tonight by a good friend and a brother, the lithium deal and all of that. But I'm sure you've been an assembly member before.
Sure.
And yesterday, I think we went for the assembly elections and all of that. The turnout was very low. And it looks as if one of the things I've really seen is about the fact that
rank and file of the National Democratic Congress. The decentralization of local government is a baby of the NDC. And this date back to 1989.
Right.
When late Rawlings said that power must be given to the people. So there was that momentum that, yes, power must divert from the top to the bottom. Hitherto, decisions were all made by the central government, the presidency, the ministers, and the local people who are the benefit. So if you look at Chapter 20, Article 240 of the 1992 Constitution, that was the local government concept.
Right.
It is cast in stone that the local government concept should be apolitical, non-partisan. And in fact, with your kind permission, I would love to read Article 248, Clause 1 and 2.
You can go ahead.
It's read, a candidate seeking to election to a district assembly or any lower local government unit shall present himself to the electorate as an individual and shall not use any symbol associated with any political party. Clause 248, Clause 2. A political party shall not endorse, sponsor, offer a platform to or in any way campaign for or against a candidate seeking election to this assembly or any lower local government unit. And by local government lower, we mean that we have the MMDCs, Metropolitan Municipal District Assembly.
Right.
Beneath you are the reality on the
Exactly. I'm just about to talk about it because we are going contrary to what the Constitution has
I have gotten the privilege. I started my political career as a student leader. From there, I went to become a unit committee.
Right.
Then I became an assemblyman. Then I became a presiding member.
Right.
Then I became an assemblyman. Then I became a presiding member. Within all my candid view, we need to rethink about it. The idea that was born from Rawlinses and those pioneers then have been defeated. Look, the election that is ongoing, so far 14 regions in Ghana, they've had yes. Tomorrow Ashanti and Eastern region will have their elections. I can tell you, it has been politicized. I'm an NDC member, I'll not run away from it, though people are not going under a key role. Because if you want to become an execo, execo is at the cabinet. So at the top level, central government, where cabinet is the key decision-making body for the presidency, at the assembly level, executive committee is also the cabinet of the assembly. To even get an opportunity to serve in the execo is the contingent on the party that is in power. So for me, in my candid view, I want to suggest that let us make the local government concept partisan. Because we are just pretending. Look, to be appointed to standing committee is politicization. Election is politicization. Even becoming a presiding member is politicization.
Why not advocate? Why not advocate for it being discouraged than to have made it partisan, than to have encouraged it? Because if we should encourage it, you and I know, the
quality of
the impact, the negative impact that this is going to bring onto our nation.
So let's take it from when Rollins brought this concept to being. Why was to the assembly based on technical and professional knowledge? Today, people are lawyers, they are getting to the assembly elected. People are bankers, they are going to engineers, surveyors. So you can clearly say that the notion, the mentality, the idea that informed the non-partisan nature of the assembly in 1989 has outlived its usefulness. Today, are we then also making an argument that because Parliament of Ghana is partisan, we can't get development? The answer is a big no. And don't forget that the assembly is a microcosm of the national government. So if today we have 275 members of parliament in Ghana, in the face of their different politicization, they still coexist. They pass bills, they legislate, they check the presidency. So can we do at the local level? We've got to a point that we must call a spade, not a big spoon. Left unto me, the next NDC government must take a bold decision and say that, look, this whole concept of making it non-partisan, the usefulness of that non-partisan nature is gone. Left unto me, let's make it partisan. Let's know it is NDC, MPP. If people want to go independent, let them go. Because when you get to the assembly, any practitioner of local government will bear with me. Sitting arrangement is partisan. Composition of standing and subcommittee is partisan. Getting enlisted to subcommittee executive is partisan. And when it comes to electing Council of State members, do you know per this constitution, Council of State members are elected by 2 reps from each assembly in all the regions. Even to get that slot to vote in your respective region is purely partisan. So left unto me, what Rawlins envisaged some 30 years ago down the lane, we've outlived it. Let's come back home, call a spade, and say that in the next assembly election, let's make it partisan. NDC should be able to put forth candidate and sponsor the candidate. MPP must do same. We should stop playing ostriches.
That will be quite disastrous. This development, and it's trying to lobby, let's say road or something, and it's trying to lobby the roads minister in order for some roads to be fixed in this constituency. The rate at which somebody from an MP from the MPP may be considered may not be as compared to that of somebody from the National Democratic Congress. And it is really, really affecting development in this country. So why should we encourage that at the district level election, exactly at the local level, where development is actually centered?
Development is always political. Development in its strictest form is political. Even the decision you make to build Terminal 3 is political. The decision you make to do Cocoa Road is political. So local governance and local development in its strictest form is political. What I want to propose is that we must call a spade, not a big spoon. For example, at the end of the election in the 14 regions to the 16 regions, MPP supposedly, I don't know where they are getting their data from, is saying that 57% of their members won. Which I know for a fact that, look, if you put it categorically, pro-NDC assembly members and unit committee had about 60% win. But here is the case, you have MPP throwing out Jandam data, and I don't know where that statistic. District Assembly Common Fund that goes to all assemblies in Ghana. By law, if you look at the allocation formula, 5% is always earmarked for self-help project by elected assembly members. But just as guess what? I can say authoritatively, based on experience I have got as a former presiding member, that most MMDCs in Ghana will give it to their party people.
I see.
So why don't you make it legal?
Okay.
Whether you legalize it or not, people are doing it in a way that suits them.
Okay.
But when we put a legal backing to people's action, it makes them cautious.
Okay.
If today, local government is made partisan, the implication is that within the assembly, everybody will know his smoothness level. But a situation whereby we pretend that the thing is not, but in reality it is, whom are we deceiving? So going forward, for this one, we can let it go.
Right.
That is why former President Mahama is even proposing that, looking at the way assembly members suffer, he's thinking of getting them some kind of allowance and a monument going forward. Why do you think
I think we don't have enough time. We need to go back to the other. But you must land on that.
So for me, the last of it all, the assembly is an important component of local government. The way the election is going, I can tell you emphatically that a lot of pro-NDC people are winning because they are fed up with the government.
Okay.
Because every politics is local. If the currency exchange rate is weak, unemployment is high, the local people feel it.
Okay.
If you take the swing regions, Bono, Greater Accra, Central Region, Western, North, these are the swing regions we can. And pro-NDC people are winning massively.
Yeah, but I also saw, some statistics out there. I don't know where that is coming from, but in the form of a flyer on social
That by the
media.
MPP.
Yeah, yes, that they have won about 57.4%.
Don't worry. They will see the
and they are waiting for
December
those
7.
places that are going to be held in Ashanti region.
Let me tell
and
you,
Western region.
when pro-NDC members do better at the assembly level, it's a dress rehearsal for general election because the people see the colors in them and they are manifestation of the bigger political party. So take Central Region, Greater Accra, Western North, Bono Region, these are the typically swing regions. And don't forget that statistically, any party that does better in the swing region wins general election.
Okay.
I can therefore postulate that, looking at the trend that is going, there's good omen for the NDC next year, December 2024.
We'll come back here to discuss, this issue of district assembly elections and all of that. But let's move to the substantive topic that we've tabled out for discussion tonight. And we're talking about the lithium agreement.
Okay.
That a lot of people have kicked against government's decision to enter into this agreement with DV Barari, Lithium Limited.
Sure.
Now, entering into have any negative impact on the economy, on Ghanaians and all of that?
So, just is to be able to dissect this very contentious issue, I would love to look at it from 5 thematic areas.
Okay, go ahead.
Moral arguments, constitutional arguments, economic arguments, generational gains arguments, entrepreneurship/wealth accumulation arguments.
Okay.
So I'll take it one after the other.
Let's go ahead.
There's a popular axiom that says that great minds discuss ideas.
Okay.
Average mind discuss events and weak mind discuss people. Now, you play videos of some critical people.
Very well.
Talk of Domaka, very vocal, and I love her spirit.
Right.
And you play the voice of a ranking member on energy, Honorable John Jenapo.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
Yes.
When it comes to energy, whilst his brother is cascading the country, he's poo-pooing the brother. So you can see how it is going.
Of course.
You have two brothers, biological brothers. One is leading a deal that is inimical to generality of the people. One is on the other flank also saying that the decision you are taking is inimical.
On what grounds are you saying that the deal is inimical to the
I'm going to go to the 5 thematic grounds I've stated.
Ahead.
So, first of all, when you read Article 268 of the 1992 Constitution, it reads protecting natural resources. So when you take the 1992 Constitution, there's a constitutional proviso that is cast in stone. And permit me to quote Article 268 of the Constitution, Clause 1 and 2, and it says, any transaction, contract or undertaking involving the grant of a right or concession by or on behalf of any person, including the government of Ghana, to any other person or body of person whosoever described for the exploitation of any mineral, water, or other natural resources of Ghana, made or entered into after the coming force of this Constitution, shall be subject to ratification by Parliament.
Okay.
So let's even grant it that the energy minister or the lands minister or natural resources had entered into an agreement with that Australian company let's say they have done it. It's null and void at this stage.
Because it has not been ratified by Parliament.
So Article 268 Clause 1, the fact that you impregnate a woman doesn't mean you can take care of the woman. So you are free to impregnate people. You are at liberty, you can do it. And if you look at the constitutional provision on minerals, it requires 2/3 majority.
Okay.
So in Article 2.2, Article 268 Clause 2, Parliament may, by resolution supported by vote of no less than 2/3 of all members of Parliament, exempt from provision of Clause 1 of this article any particular class or transaction, contract, or undertaking. So if you read Article 268 Clause 1, it's cast in stone. It's categorical, it's explicit. There is no debatable. There is not, it's an objective issue, not subjective issue. There is not a point that justice can prefer his idea. The Constitution has stated clearly, and that is my first argument, constitutional argument. So constitutionally, though the sector minister, presidency, can enter into an agreement with any third party on behalf of the state, but the Constitution says that any law, any agreement to enter without bringing it to Parliament without ratification is null and void. So at this stage, we can rant and offer all public commentary, but the bar stops at Parliament. Are they going to garner 2/3 majority for this agreement to go through? Even if it's a simple majority, can they gather that momentum? And let me take the moral argument. You see,
well, when it comes to
the constitutional,
I would want to draw attention on something. I've listened to the sector minister who says that yes, the agreement will be going to Parliament, of course. And so when it comes to ratification of the said agreement, government is ready to go to Parliament for the said ratification.
Sure. So yes, he has signed the agreement with the Australian company, but that agreement is not binding on Ghanaians. Tomorrow, Ghanaian representatives, MPs can take a decision that this agreement is bad.
Right.
And I want to see people demonstrate that in Parliament. Look, one person I want to see champion is Honorable Kennedy Japan. He professed himself to love Ghana so much.
Right.
That for him, he is for the country. He's thinking about the youth. He's thinking about the future of this, the posterity of this country.
What is it about this agreement that is so inimical to the state, apart from the ratification date of
the moral argument, your viewers to page 7.
Very well.
And the deal so bad.
Yes.
Because the minister's position is that it is the best Ghana can ever think of. Since 1957.
And he has reasons for saying that it's the best.
I'm going to go into that. Since 1957, Ghana has entered a lot of mineral agreements.
Yes.
Talk of gold, talk of diamond, talk of the crude we have, oil and gas agreement, talk of the water body, fisheries, etc. But I can tell you, in the 21st century, the richest countries are not those with the raw material. They are those who apply value chain. What is your value chain? So when you take lithium, and for the benefit of those who are watching, when you take lithium in its raw state, the raw state of lithium, talk of when it's going to be mined in Ghana, the economic value is 20 billion in the raw state. So the raw state of lithium from Ghana, from now to when it's going to be explored fully, is between 20 to 30 billion dollars.
Right.
That is a raw form of the lithium. If it is semi-processed, it's moved from 20 to 30 billion to 271 billion. If you're able to process it fully and to get to the end point of the value addition, it is $1.71 trillion. So let your viewers judge. Per the nature of the current agreement, we are just looking at the raw material kind of thing. And in the raw material, you are having 20 to 30 billion dollars in the raw material, and that is where the taxes are going to be paid. Okay, and it's a lease agreement. Lease, not a joint ventureship. My contention is that we must go joint ventureship. Joint venture means that the state and that company must come together.
Wait a minute,
and form a consortium.
I'll come back to you. So, this argument. Mr. Kofi Ansah and Fuichi Kata, they have appropriate response to this particular argument you've raised about you think that it should be a joint venture and not a lease agreement. And this is what they said. IEM made a mistake on lithium deal analysis, Kofi Ansah and Fuichi Kata. Two legal and mining experts, Kofi Ansah and Fuichi Kata, have waded into the discussions surrounding the first mining lease for the exploitation of lithium in Ghana. In a paper jointly published on Monday, December 11, 2023, the legal and mining experts described the analysis by the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, and the former Chief Justice, Mrs. Sophia Akufo, as suffering from the error of promoting form over substance. Mr. Fuichikata is a former lecturer of the University of Ghana Faculty of Law and a legal luminary with many years of experience in the mining industry, spanning over 40 years, while Mr. Kofi Ansah is the founding Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission under President Rawlings from 1993 to 1999. The two, while noting two areas where the government could have made improvements in the lease, said the widely published criticisms are patently wrong and based on a misunderstanding of the laws and practices in the mining industry. It continued by saying that at a press briefing last Thursday, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Abu Jinapo, the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission, Martin Ayisi, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Nana Yao Cranton, took turns to explain the processes leading to the grant of the lease and the terms of the lease to the public. They insisted that the 10% royalties rate, the 13% free carried interest, the 6% interest secured by MIIF, and the additional 3% in the Australian listed holding company, together with other benefits like the establishment of a refinery and the sale of byproducts domestically, are unprecedented and in the best interest of Ghana. According to the ministry and the commission, the royalties rate and free carried interest secured are among the highest globally, with the company still mandated to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange to increase Ghanaian participation to a minimum of 30%. Despite these explanations, commentary on the lease has continued. In the last twist of affairs, the two experts which undermine the conclusions they seek to draw. The contention by the IEM, Mrs. Sophia Akufo, that joint venture agreement, and this is where I want to draw attention, that joint venture agreement or service contracts are better than leases or concession contracts, suffer from the error of promoting form or over substance. They explained that the gross revenue from the project is $688 million per year and not the 24 million put out by the IE and Prof. Jampo. They also explained that by putting all the negotiated terms together, the government will, this is their position on the matter, which is so different from which that you guys are espousing.
So Justice, let me make it emphatically clear that experts also can get it wrong.
Okay.
And whatever Mr. Fui and his other partner prefer is their personal opinion. And that is not imperative on anybody.
Okay.
When you find yourself in an academic environment, you must not use an emphatic position to justify your stand. Today, you are referring to people as preferring ill-informed position, and their position is not backed by understanding of the mineral and mining environment.
Yes.
I totally disagree with them.
I see.
I will also refer to their posture as neo-colonialist.
Okay.
Because from 1957, show me one single agreement signed that is inured to the benefit of Ghana. One. From bauxite, manganese, fisheries, water bodies, gold, crude, etc.
Right.
However, I was about to advance 5 grounds, and if you had allowed me
you can go ahead. You can
to
go
finish
ahead.
the 5 grounds,
you can go ahead.
It would have featured into
it would have
all
taken
their
care of all their,
this.
okay.
Now the moral
responsibility
argument,
provided. Okay.
morally, assuming that this lithium is owned, is the ownership of Mr. Fui, let's say that lithium concession belongs to him,
right,
and not Ghana. Will he have allowed an Australian company to have 87, he gets 13%? Let's take Ghana out of the equation and say that this lithium mineral we have found is bequeathed, is given to Mr. Fui.
But they disagree that Ghana is getting 13%.
Wait.
To them, Ghana is getting 51%.
It's not true. You see, all these numbers they put out there, in reality, go for joint venture. The issue of form over substance, I'm coming to it.
Go ahead.
So the moral argument I'm making is that you cannot be the owner of a natural resources and people come to your home and beat you up. It's like you sit in your home, somebody walk to your home, you have colors, you have machete, you have guns, the person tend to beat you up. That is what the agreement seeks to do. I stay in my own home in Ghana, I have my own natural resources, you walk from Australia to come to my country, and you put in terms that favors you. If Mr. Fui advances any argument beneath expert knowledge in the mining sector, a legal opinion, or general opinion, I totally disagree. He must avert his mind to the fact that if today the government of Ghana bequeath this mineral to him, he will not accept these terms and conditions. That is on moral grounds. Number 3 is economic dividend. Look, what is it that Australia has so much more than Ghana? It is artificial intelligence. People are investing in a knowledge-based economy. So economically, we are not benefiting. We are not churning out more tycoons in the minerals, in the mining sector. Look, let me cite engineers and planners as a case study. There is a man who has demonstrated demonstrable capacity in the mining sector. Meanwhile, we are not getting the economic dividend out of him.
Okay.
Of all the money we've been doing in the past, go to Obuasi, to the Anglo-Gold. Has it been to the economic dividend? Go and look at their roads. Go to South Africa. Go to Australia, Switzerland. Go to Sweden. Go to China, the mining community. Go and look at how asphalted their roads are. Go to Western North and Western region. Go to Bunu region where people are mining. Go to the North. What has been the economic dividend? So go to Takon Suayem today, where people are taking away the gold. The roads are deplorable. Go to Ashanti region today. Go to where Anglo-Gold is. You can find the poorest people there. But it's never like that in the Western world. So on the economic grounds, from 1957 to date, the Central region, they are the host region of this lithium product. And I'll tell you, we can mine this lithium for tens of years, they will be impoverished. So economically, we've not had that dividend. And this agreement does not depart from that tradition, whereby we find mineral, we do pump and pageantry, but the real indigens of where the mineral is become more impoverished. Number 4 is generational gain.
Okay.
In every country who don't have resources, they think of the next gen, the legacy. So you ask yourself, when you take gold, when you take manganese and bauxite,
right,
what generational gain have they been to the country? Go to Ashanti region today. Partly I'm from Partly Ashanti, Partly Bunu region.
Right.
And I can tell you, it's like a generational curse to have gold in Ghana. Go to Bunu and a half region, Bunu and a half region. Go to where Newmont is. It look as if the gold became a curse for the indigenous over there. So it look as if any time an African country discovers a mineral item, it becomes a curse than a blessing. The 5th one is entrepreneurship and wealth accumulation. That is the easiest way to build wealth is through mining. Because it is capital intensive. And that is where the government must build proper entrepreneurs inorganically and organically. How do you do it? You form consortium. You form local consortium. Imagine government of Ghana says that, okay, we want to flow shares in this mineral. So we are going to form a company, list it on the Ghana Stock Exchange for people to own shares in this company. You think Ghanaians will not do? Let me bet everything on this today. And I'm looking at enterprise and wealth accumulation.
Okay.
How can we make Ghanaians owners of this lithium deal? Simple. Government must form a local consortium, flow shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and tell people of Ghana, come and buy shares and own shares in this lithium. I've heard people make an argument that 2 arguments, financial and technological. I believe in technology transfer, and I believe in the financial argument. But we can solve the financial argument to of Ghanaians, both home and away, who will come and buy shares to own shares in this lithium company that will be formed by the government of Ghana. So the argument that the Australian company is bringing finances and technology, I want to sit on this show and deflate it, because if government want to make it locally owned, they can do so by registering a company, forming a local consortium, flow shares to the Ghana Stock Exchange, letting Ghanaians home and abroad buy shares in that company. So you see, you can be a Ghanaian in US, in UK, in Europe, in Southern London, America, everywhere. They become a shareholder in the lithium company. And because it's a commodity whose value is going to appreciate, the shares you buy today, the next 5 years, is going to appreciate. If government take this step to democratize its management of the lithium, open it up, form consortium, float it on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Who tells you we cannot raise that money? Because as of today, the lithium is going to be a byproduct or raw material to produce battery for electronic vehicles. And it's going to be in higher demand compared to petrol and diesel and other vehicles. So for me, the argument people are saying that the Australian company is bringing technology, is bringing funding, I want to deflate that argument that government can raise the needed funding, and when you have the funds, you can go out there and buy the technology to explore and to mine the mineral.
So are you saying that the 10% royalty rate, the 13% free carried interest, the 6% interest secured by MIIF, and the additional 3% of the Australian listed, holding company, together with other benefits like the establishment of a refinery and the sale of byproducts domestically, which were described as unprecedented and in the best interest of Ghana by the minister, is something that
totally flawed. Totally flawed. That is why I'm giving a proposal for government to consider.
Okay.
The minister has stated his policy position. Mr. Fui has stated his legal and mining expertise. I'm speaking from the point of the economy and entrepreneurship. Economists, it just talks about scarcity.
Right.
And God has been lucky to you. You have found the lithium. So lithium is not scarce to you as a country. It's in abundance to you. If you have abundance of a raw material, you must leverage to create value chain. How do we create a value chain? And if you go to China, they have a concept called consumetrics, which simply means that democratize the wealth of the nation. How can Ghana democratize our wealth? We have a lithium. How can we make it in such a way that the poor boy in my community, Sunyani West, the rich man in Bunu region, can be a participant of this deal? That is why I'm saying that form a local consortium, float the share on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and put a caveat that you want it to be wholly owned by Ghanaians. That's it. If this government of Ghana today means well for Ghana, let them go on that tangent. If government is not able to raise $1 billion to invest in this lithium deal, change my name from BOT to COT. It is simply because people want to own shares. And let me tell you, when Ghanaians buy shares, they become shareholders. And there will be annual general and then buy technology and get them as participants to the game. Who tells you that today if you have money, you can buy technology? There's never scarcity of technology in the world. Have money and you can buy it. To the engineers and planners, he has the best form of technology. Despite and the owner of even this company, do you know that there are certain technology that you deploy, some people in the US don't have it? Don't let us kid ourselves. Government of Ghana must come out clean, democratize the lithium deal, form a local consortium, float the shares on Ghana Stock Exchange. Let Ghanaian banks become shareholders. But I'm sorry, when we do go on that time, then I'm sorry to raise the funding and buy the needed technology.
I'm sorry to announce to you that the minister, I've listened to the minister who said they are not going to make any changes to the deal in its current form unless there are compelling arguments. Because the minister believes that these arguments are not compelling enough.
Let me tell you, you have a mineral owned by Ghanaians, right? But they are not participants of the dividend of that mineral. You are a minister, and you are saying that you are a lawyer by profession. And in law, you can have, there's something you call arbitrary and ratio decidendi. Right. You can have your passing comment. I can also equally sit on and say that the minister is just offering a passing comment. Okay. Because Ghana doesn't belong to him. If he wants a compelling argument, I've given you one. What is my compelling argument? Okay. My argument is that we must let Ghanaians play critical and active role. How can they do it? Register a local company, a local consortium, owned by, let's say, government and few stakeholders. It can be the ministry, agencies, apportion shares to them, and float the shares on the stock exchange. If that is not compelling to the minister, I'm sorry, then doesn't deserve to be a minister. If this alternative that I have given is not so compelling to the certain minister, I'm afraid for the future of this country.
Viewers, you are still watching Hot News right here on Pan-African Television with me, Justice Appiah. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. If you're watching us also on your TV, the WhatsApp/text line has been displayed. You can leave your suggestions, questions, contributions, and all of that on our social media pages, and I'll be reading those out for you. We are in a conversation with Bernard Odro Techi, popularly known as BOT. He's a chartered economist. He's really, explaining the issues to the barest minimum for our understanding and how this deal, seeks to have a negative impact on the economy. So, in effect, what are you advocating for? Are you saying that we should cancel the deal in its current form and look at, you know, another deal, entering into another deal that perhaps would benefit the good people of Ghana?
Niccolo Machiavelli said that only two people won't change their mind in the world. Only two people.
And who are those people?
Fools and the dead.
I see.
Only two people don't change their mind. Those who are dead and the fools. So because we are living, if you're a living entity and you make an intransigent dogmatic position not to change your position, then you are becoming a fool.
I see.
Because your paramount chiefs are talking, IEA is talking, legal luminaries are talking, civil societies are talking. You cannot say that all these talking from these great minds should be put to the dustbin.
Right.
So for me, we must not go the Niccolo Machiavelli way. We must not let Niccolo Machiavelli win over Ghanaians, where he says that two people who won't change their mind are fools and the dead. We are not dead and we are not fools. So we should be amenable to our position. We must democratize our world. How can we let you, Justice, be a participant of the deal? Flow shares, let's buy the shares. And when we do that, America, government must start the Ghana Statistics Council to do a survey in Ghana. Don't let it be my position, not that of Fui, not that of Professor Jampo, not that of the former Chief Justice. Let's go out there on the streets. They should spearhead that research and ask Ghanaians their independent opinion. Justice, if we get less than 80% of Ghanaians supporting this deal, don't bring me to this show again. Let the government of Ghana go out there, explain the nitty-gritty, the nuances of this agreement to Ghanaians in the local understanding, and allow them to make a decision. Global Info Analytics can take this up.
Right.
If we get less than 70% of Ghanaians disapproving this lithium deal, never bring me to this show. Majority of Ghanaians are not in support. It is not a good deal. It won't help Ghana. And going forward, I'm focusing on entrepreneurship and wealth accumulation. Let us open the deal up, form a local consortium, flow shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Let Ghanaians buy shares to own shares in the lithium deal.
Right.
And when we do that, we will then have gotten a point of democratizing the benefit and the dividend of the lithium deal.
All right, thank you so much, BOT, for coming. I'm so grateful. Unfortunately, we have one more topic to discuss, but I promise you next week we will come back here to discuss that.
Always available.
And the truth is that there's a trend, I mean, and nobody is talking about it. Nobody is looking at it. There's going to be an increment. If not, I think they have already increased it in insurance. And it is a topic that is worth discussing. So we'll be here next week, Wednesday, to discuss that particular topic, which I know a lot of people are very much interested in. And this is what time will allow us on the program. Make a time with us, same time tomorrow. My name is Justice Appiah, and the show has been Hot News. Unfortunately, I couldn't read your messages. Kindly forgive me. We are behind time. Goodbye.
Truly African.